Hey guys, Creator Mom. So I'm going to make an updated video about my car. So it's like 1 a.m. and well actually I had like a nap or whatever. I had to so what happened was my gaskets are fixed, right? But now my check engine light is on. So previously my battery light was on. All that has been fixed. And now that my Avenue alternator and my gasket covers are fixed, my check engine light comes on. And I feel so full of regret because what happened was I got miles away from the car repair shop, headed all the way to the other side of town, somewhere else. Then my check engine light comes on. So, and I got it. I got the codes checked at this other place, but I forgot what the hell they said the codes were. But I felt like they made it sound like it was not a big deal. Like, oh, if it comes on again, just go to the shop that repaired it. And maybe they didn't let them check it out. Didn't seem like a big deal. Maybe a sensor thing or whatever. So I'm mad at myself for not remembering what the hell the codes were. But I guess since my brain processed it wasn't like a big deal and the check engine light was off now, that I was just like, okay. So I called the guy at the repair shop. He's like, well, if it comes on again, just come in. Well, unfortunately, I went to go out to drive around 5:30, 5 o'clock, no, 5:30. And after driving a couple miles, my check engine light comes on again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I just turn around and I'm like, you know what? I was going to take my son to a park and I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Going home. I'm like, I feel very traumatized by car issues right now and being stranded or in paying for tow trucks and paying for Uber rides. I'm just like really at my I'm over it. So I'm just like, we're going straight back home. Turn the car around. Actually, I called the shop to see because now by 5:30, I'm like, damn, it's too late. Like, I think he closes at 5. But he lives right next to his shop, so who knows? I called him. I figured he might pick up and say, yeah, just swing by real quick. But I got no answer, no response. I left a message, nothing. So, and it's Friday. So now I'm filled with regret because I'm like, I should have went directly there today. I just should have went directly back. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? But I don't know. Maybe things are playing out exactly as they're supposed to. Maybe there's no such thing as regret, Maybe regret is my brain telling me I've done something wrong. I should have done something else. But my finite brain doesn't know what would have happened had I went to the shop, directly to the shop. You know what I'm saying? So the finite brain is like condemning me. Oh, you should have done this. Well, the fact is, I didn't. I figured it was fine. And if it came back again, that I would go in. So anyways, my point is that when I was driving home today from picking up my car earlier, because I got to drive up this massive hill, and I'm like the whole time I'm smelling something in my van, but I'm like, you know what? It's probably just maybe it's whatever they use to clean oil from places that oil is not supposed to be around the engine in places, maybe like some type of foaming agent. But I can't get over the fact that I'm smelling this smell and it smells so familiar to me. And I'm trying to figure out what it smells like. As soon as I approach my home, the parking lot, I'm like, that's it. It smells like scrubbing bubbles. Because I used to clean, when I was young, my job was to clean the bathroom. And that was the product my mother loved, scrubbing bubbles. So I know that smell distinctly. I'm like, it smells like scrubbing bubbles. And I'm like, do mechanics use scrubbing bubbles to clean inside your car? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, So I Googled it real quick, and actually I Googled the wrong thing. I Googled, do mechanics use scrubbing bubbles to clean inside the engine? Because I don't know, maybe they, whatever. They hack it. I don't know. So I didn't find much on that. I said, okay, whatever. I just thought, like, whatever, But it just made me realize it's just like when you're like using a vehicle, I feel like you have to use like all your freaking senses. Well, long story short, I'm running out of memory on my phone here. It's 1 a.m. And again, I'm reminded of this smell in the van. So I double check. Smells like scrubbing bubbles inside my car. And then AI says, that can signify a coolant leak. And I'm like, holy shit. I get out there. I'm checking my coolant level. I have no coolant in my coolant box. I open the other section that you're not supposed to open when the car is really hot. I open that up. It's not dry. There's a little bit of coolant in there, but it's usually like kind of filled to the top. So I'm like, but I have no coolant whatsoever in my coolant box. And I'm like, oh my God, that was the smell driving up the hill, the coolant. I don't know. So that's the deal. I think what happened was when I got my alternator fixed the day before yesterday or whatever, a couple days ago, he left my car running and running and running and running to charge the battery. And I think that had something to do with the coolant level, because I've not had an issue with my coolant level at fucking all. Like my coolant level has been perfect. I check my oil every week and I always look at my coolant level too. And it's always stayed like at the same thing. So I think that him running the van for all that time, I don't know, he could have been running it for an hour or for all I know to try to charge the battery. I think that the coolant, something happened to the coolant. So I have coolant. I refilled the box, refilled it a bit. And let's see, I don't know if that is why the check engine light was coming on or not. I still have to get to make sure that was what was happening. So I just feel really over it with the car things, but because I feel like I have no one like to mentor me really in person about the cars. But I mean, I do. I mean, I really have like one neighbor that I could ask something sometimes, but I just feel like everybody's dealing with their own shit, and like nobody has time to help other people with their shit. And maybe that's just like a bad belief that I have, that needs to, I don't know, because if I knew something and somebody asked me a question, I don't think it would bother me to help them, if I could. So, but for some reason, I just figure, oh, other people are too busy. They don't want to help me. Like, they got their own stresses in life going on. Anyways, this is my third update about my van. Hopefully, my last. All right, guys. Have a good night, morning,